There's a story circulating that Wall Street veteran Tom Lee saved Ethereum from collapse. The narrative goes that through some financial wizardry, he swooped in and rescued the second-largest crypto from disaster. But here's the truth. Ethereum never needed saving. What actually happened is far more explosive. This isn't about a rescue. It's about a multi-billion-dollar institutional takeover attempt that could either cement ETH as the backbone of global finance or unleash systemic risks crypto has never faced before. Who is Tom Lee and why should you care? Tom Lee is no crypto influencer chasing clout. He's a Wall Street heavyweight with more than 25 years in traditional finance. He cut his teeth as JP Morgan's chief equity strategist before co-founding Fundstrat Global Advisors in 2014. What set him apart early was his contrarian view. Back in 2017, when Bitcoin was under $3,000, Lee valued it as digital gold and predicted a run to $20,000 by 2022. He was wrong on the timing, but not on the trajectory. Bitcoin didn't stop at $20,000. It smashed through $55,000 by early 2021. His calls aren't perfect, but they've often been directionally right when others doubted. The real story: Bitmine's Ethereum play. Fast forward to June 30, 2025. Tom Lee becomes chairman of a little-known Bitcoin miner called Bitmine Immersion Technologies. Instead of doubling down on mining BTC, Bitmine pivots. The company raises a staggering $250 million private placement with backing from some of the biggest names in finance: Founders Fund, Galaxy Digital, Kraken, Pantera, and even ARK Invest's Cathie Wood. But here's the twist. Bitmine isn't raising money to mine Bitcoin. They're using it to buy Ethereum for their treasury. What follows is one of the most aggressive buying sprees in crypto history. Within weeks, Bitmine accumulates over $2 billion in ETH. By September, that number balloons to 1.8 million ETH, worth a jaw-dropping $8.2 billion. Overnight, Bitmine becomes the largest corporate holder of Ethereum in the world, second only to Michael Saylor's Bitcoin stash at MicroStrategy. In fact, Bitmine is accumulating ETH nearly 12 times faster than Saylor stacked BTC in his early days. This isn't a rescue, it's a strategic accumulation on a scale crypto has never seen. Why Ethereum? The Wall Street Convergence. Tom Lee calls this movement the Wall Street Convergence, the idea that the entire global financial services industry is slowly migrating to blockchain rails. The catalyst? Stablecoins. Lee argues that stablecoins are to crypto what ChatGPT was to AI, the breakout product that drives mass adoption. Consumers, businesses, and banks are embracing stablecoins at unprecedented speed, and over 60% of stablecoin activity happens on Ethereum. Lee's thesis is simple but bold. As trillions of dollars in real-world assets get tokenized, and as AI-powered agents start creating their own microeconomies, Ethereum will be the settlement layer of choice. In his view, ETH isn't just another coin, it's the backbone of the next financial system. The price predictions that shocked Wall Street. Lee doesn't shy away from big numbers. For 2025, he's targeting $10,000 to $16,000 ETH. Long term? He's eyeing $60,000 plus per ETH, based on an ETH-BTC ratio of 0.25 and his ultra-bullish $250,000 Bitcoin target. And if that sounds crazy, his Bitcoin moonshot is even bigger, $3 million per BTC. Critics may call this hype, but remember, Lee correctly predicted multiple market recoveries, including the V-shaped bounce of March 2020 and the unexpected rally of the S&P 500 in 2023 when almost everyone else was bearish. The risks no one is talking about. But here's where things get dangerous. Moves this big don't come without risk. Just like Michael Saylor with MicroStrategy, Tom Lee now heads a company whose stock price is directly tied to Ethereum's performance. Every bullish CNBC segment boosts Bitmine's balance sheet and Lee's own net worth. That's a glaring conflict of interest. Even worse, industry veterans warn of systemic risk. Vitalik Buterin himself has sounded alarms about over-leveraged treasury plays, warning they could trigger cascading liquidations in downturns. Analysts at Bernstein agree. If firms like Bitmine are forced to dump billions in ETH into a falling market, the crash could spiral. We've already seen hints of this when Bitmine announced a $1 billion stock buyback instead of stacking more ETH, a move that rattled the community and raised questions about long-term priorities. The bigger picture: ambition meets fragility. This isn't the story of a Wall Street savior rescuing Ethereum. Ethereum never needed saving. It's one of the most reliable networks in the world with zero downtime since launch. What we're witnessing is Wall Street arriving with all its ambition, leverage, and capital, and potentially dragging crypto into the same systemic risks that haunt traditional finance. If Tom Lee is right, Ethereum becomes the base layer of a tokenized global economy, and early backers will see generational wealth. But if the bet goes wrong, Bitmine's $8 billion ETH treasury could act like a financial time bomb, detonating across the entire market. This is not a rescue story, it's a power grab. Ethereum's future may now be shaped not just by developers and users, but by institutions with billions to deploy. We're all part of this grand experiment, for better or worse. If it succeeds, crypto could become the backbone of the global financial system. If it fails, the fallout could shake the industry to its core. Drop a comment. Do you think Tom Lee's ETH strategy is genius or reckless? Smash that like button if you believe Ethereum will dominate global finance. Subscribe for more deep dives into the institutional forces reshaping crypto.